Anytime someone says, now let me be clear, they're about to say something incredibly unclear. Just remember that.
Yeah, the same thing with no offense.
Yeah. Yeah, except one's funny.
Yep. Roll the intro.
Evening, officer. Is something wrong?
Just keep your hands where I can see them. Routine traffic stop. We got reports of someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
No, I'm only under one influence.
What's that?
The influence of Jesus.
It's time for Under the Influence.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, Jerry is here to welcome you to another episode of Under the Influence. I again just want to say thank you for all being here and listening. I can't believe we're already 10 episodes in. I'm so pleased to know that you are enjoying hearing us laugh with each other and think more critically about what's most important in life. In this episode, we're kind of all over the place, which is not to say that we aren't typically all over the place, but this episode specifically consists of what may just be the most controversial joke of all time, some incredibly unfortunate surprises on Christmas morning, and a lengthy discussion on media, social media, and pop culture and how it impacts the life of a Christian. One of my primary points in this episode is that young adults today focus so heavily on what is fun, enjoyable, and serves little to no godly purpose. I have recognized this in myself for years, and I'm making a conscious effort to change this about myself. I love doing the things I love. Redundant, I know, it's redundant to say, but my point still stands. We all love to do certain things, and ultimately those things should be things that glorify God. Sometimes they're neutral, that serve no godly purpose, where a godly purpose could possibly be injected or possibly should be injected. Or unfortunately, sometimes we thoroughly enjoy things that serve an exclusively sinful purpose. But 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God." Now, I understand this verse is of course contextually talking about something very specific, but I do believe that it certainly has a broad application in the life of the believer. It says that in all we do, we should seek to glorify God and continue to demonstrate Him in our lives, right? I had a discussion with a friend recently where we discussed the sadness of so many young marriages, and especially new and young families. Too many are focused solely on what's fun in life while they have the free time to do so early on. Then, so often, they ignore spending this necessary time on at least contemplating the important matters in life. That's just what this podcast is all about. We are three young Christian men continuously redevoting ourselves to the purpose of learning and exemplifying Christ in our lives. And at the very least, we are getting together weekly to discuss more critically what is important in the life of the believer and asking God for wisdom and direction in our lives. Psalm 143:10 says, "Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground." This is a verse that has been occupying my mind, and I pray that it does yours as well. Cry out to God, ask Him to direct your life, and seek to spend your time now learning about what is true and right, so that when you are thrust into responsibility, either by your own decision or God's necessity for your life, you will be more appropriately equipped. Don't waste your time now on what doesn't truly matter, and instead seek God's will voraciously, so that when you find yourself dating, married, or with children, to just name a few examples that we touch on in this episode, you're more readily equipped then to handle these things with wisdom and direction from God. And for those of you who are already well into life, finding that these situations already apply to you, certainly waste no time with ignoring these responsibilities and the opportunities to continue to learn how to exemplify Christ in them. So, thank you again for hearing me out. And now to get to the real discussion today, I will introduce you to episode 10 of Under the Influence.
Welcome back to Under the Influence. I'm your host, Jerry Crane, joined by my two favorite co-hosts.
Levi Thiessen.
And
Jude Crane.
that's right.
Jude's voice got a lot deeper.
It did. Yeah.
A lot deeper.
Wait a minute. You were just talking in the third person.
Sorry. Jude's voice. Still talking third
Still
person.
talking in the third
My
person.
bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while I've got your attention, this is Jude, by the way. Please do remember, if you want to get involved with the podcast, you want to talk to us, or you want to give us some tips, criticisms, or maybe just ask us about different topics we could talk about, find us in our Discord. First, easiest way to get there is go to christianinfluence.net, click the little thing that says Discord, jump into the Discord, and you'll see a Under the Influence channel where you can talk. So we'd love to see you there. Come chat about some of your favorite moments. And then also, we didn't talk about this officially in any of the podcast episodes yet. We've hinted at it, where I shut Jude down when he was asking if we should talk about it or not. But we have a Patreon page now. So if you feel so inclined, we would love your support. There's some extra bonus content you can get there. Right now, we've got a bonus episode where the three of us sit and talk about some of our favorite what are they, video game items or whatever, and see whether or not we would want those ones in real life or something. And then we intend to have different, us playing different games or hanging out, talking more about ourselves, different ways for you to get to know us better. And that'll all be on Patreon. So find it on Patreon, Christian Influence. You can search for it, or if you want a link, there's links in our Discord. I don't know if they're on our website yet, but they will be eventually. So yeah, you got it.
We got a lot of things to talk about this episode.
So
and
much.
I know we've all brought things that we're really passionate about.
Levi's got like 3 different topics he was saying you want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to everything today.
Are we going to do an opening hypothetical on this one? And
I have
Loosen
one
our
if you'd
terms?
like to. I mean, we have something we could talk about, or we could roll right into this week.
I'd like to do a hypothetical. I've got a joke for after the hypothetical. I've been
Okay,
working
and
on
then
it.
after that, maybe we'll just roll right in. Man, it sounds to the listener like we didn't talk about this at all, doesn't it? About how
It
we're going to
didn't.
format.
Now it might.
Now it might.
Now it might.
But I
don't
want you all
think-
to know.
No, I think
We
the listeners
did.
are
I
smart.
want you all to
extensively
know.
went
We
through
did
this.
extensively talk about this, and I had it written down with a nice format for how we'd get to everything, and then Jerry over there messed it all up, didn't he?
Jerry. Yeah.
Jerry,
I'm
that idiot.
As,
Man, Jerry's the worst.
Since I'm Jerry.
So, you said you wanted to go for the hypothetical right now. So,
Yeah.
I wrote one down,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't consult the two of you about it.
Very excited.
So this one's going to hit you from left field.
Classic Jude
You ready?
move. Yeah.
It is a classic Jude move.
Jude move. Yeah, make sure you put the D in there, or else.
Well, if you could plant one fake memory into the head of every American at the exact same time, and it's the same memory, what would it be?
Can I choose?
One false memory. You're the only person that knows that this memory that everybody has is not real.
Can I choose the memory to override another?
You want to like replace a memory?
So say there was something that something that happened that everyone knew about. Everyone on the world, on the planet knew about.
I think you could.
Like JFK.
Yeah, like JFK.
Yeah.
Like the airport?
Yeah.
No. Like the head exploding.
Jeez. Right to it.
Oh, is that who the airport's named after?
Yeah, the airport.
Oh, sorry. Jude's an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you asking though?
Can I like supersede that memory with another one?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
you can plant a memory in someone's head. That memory you plant though
Could be an
a
alternate
memory.
version.
Like
Well, it could be a memory that disproves this other one.
that
Like,
JFK had always had an exploded head, and his head one day in Dallas came back together.
oh my god, no! It could be a memory that's like them remembering. Oh no, wait! I was taught that was like doctored footage.
Ooh.
If you wanted to try,
That's not fake.
what?
That's true.
that his head comes back together.
No,
and
no,
then
that it's doctored
re-explodes.
footage.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it's the CIA.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. It
We've-
looks real fake.
We've seen it. Yeah, it does
yeah.
look pretty.
Should we tell that story?
No. We were there.
Yeah, we were there.
Well,
What's it called? What's the hill called?
The hill?
The grassy knoll.
the grassy.
We were there on the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
Oh,
Levi
and-
was actually the Russian lady a lot of people make conspiracies about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the
sunglasses
beard.
and like
the bearded
bonnet.
lady.
Yeah, it was the bearded lady. Yeah, we were there because we've been around a while.
I mean, yeah. We all grew up in the 90s.
We grew up in the 90s when JFK was shot in the 90s.
When JFK was shot.
Well, no, we grew up in the 90s, but we were we were in our 40s when JFK was shot.
Yeah.
But then we grew up in the 90s.
Grew up.
Yes.
And here we are now.
Late bloomers. 50.
Here we are now,
Let me tell
firmly
you,
in our teens.
Puberty at 50.
2022. Puberty at 50 was rough.
But losing our baby teeth later in life was such a miracle.
Yeah,
Such
and
a
terrifying.
Yeah, once you hit 90 and then you start losing your baby teeth, yikes.
Rough.
But don't need those dentures.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Because here we are, like I said, back in
We
our
needed
teens.
dentures before we had our teeth. So the hypothetical is you can plant a memory in everyone. This is
Yeah,
worldwide?
like everybody
Mr. Worldwide?
got abducted by aliens. Like everybody distinctly has that memory.
Yeah,
Something like that.
it's every American.
American.
Yes.
Oh, just
Nationalist.
American.
You always
implication-
reduce it to America.
No, when I read it, I said Americans.
Oh, did you?
Roll the tape back. If you could plant one fake memory into the head of every American, what would it be? Here we go. We're
Oh,
back.
you're right.
Wow,
We just
back in
rewound.
time, you were a little bit southern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little, Jude's got a weird thing with accents.
We're just, this episode is just ruining the lore of all of us.
Except for Levi. Levi's untouched.
I am untouched on this one.
I know what I think I know what I would do.
What?
That,
Yeah?
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Let's
yeah.
expand upon that.
Yeah. Expanding upon that. I don't know. Maybe something with the Cold War. And just, wait, so like
Then it wasn't
future-born
cold?
Americans?
Huh?
Future-born Americans won't have this memory? Or how does that work?
Well, I mean, it won't matter if they have it or not because we'll tell them that it happened. Because you're not
What
born
happens
with
to, like, the
memories
history
already.
books, though?
But it has to be like before a time that like it could be like
Well, yeah,
Clearly
they could look
we
at
have
the
all this
history books and go like, "Well, this didn't happen," but I remember it happening. And also, I wasn't alive during the Cold War.
I mean,
Why do I
it would be
remember
like
this?
the Mandela effect, except like
Well, I think we would
strategically
remember
or-
that like history books tell us that that it did happen. Well, you're in this mode where you're only thinking about things that are like historical events, like JFK or whatever. It doesn't have to be something that like is a historical event.
I
It
guess
just
that's
is.
true.
If you could plant one fake memory into the head of every American, what would said
I know what it
fake
would be.
memory be?
go.
I know what it would be. They were all born from their fathers.
They remember distinctly. I was born
Yeah.
from my father.
Not only do you remember birth, wild, but you were born from your dad.
Ah,
What? That's a harmless memory.
disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's a harmless memory.
Yeah, it's weird though.
Harmless.
Well, what would you do? It's a weird question.
Also, for the listeners here, just so you know, we're not exactly certain if the
But-
audio is going to sound any different this episode. But just so you are aware, where we typically record is in the office at our church. We are actually over at the guy in the chair's house. So things are a little more relaxed. Things sound a little different. You might hear a dog in the background every now and then, but it's not a big deal. So just bear with us. All right, go ahead. Jude asked you to answer.
Oh, my
yeah, what would
answer.
you do?
No, that's called deflection.
Oh, nice.
See how I
one.
lied? I went, hey, Jude asked you to answer.
It's cool. Lying's cool.
Well, it's the third person, so it wasn't a lie. Jude asked you to answer.
Oh, I forgot you're Jude and I'm Jerry.
I don't know.
I
Like,
love my name being Jerry.
there's a lot of little like funny things you could do.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
an example would be
Like they distinctly remember that the sky was always red, but then they look up and they're like, I guess today's the first day it was blue.
that's crazy. That's going to cause a lot.
Wait,
of
wait, wait.
hysteria.
So that's how big the memory could be. Like,
Oh, it's a yeah.
It's just a memory. They just remember that the thing.
I feel like remembering being born from your father's pretty big, right?
No, but
Remember-
I think
but
he's
like-
saying, because I said that it could be a memory that encompasses multiple, like a lot of far period of time. But but then I think with what I said, if you tried to remember like a specific day, what was the color of the sky that day, you probably remember it as having been blue.
yeah.
But if you think about what color was the sky always, you'd think it was always red.
the old...
All right. So Levi,
No, like if you made everyone like think the metric system is the way to go.
oh my gosh,
Ooh, that's clever.
And then every time they're like, I have to measure this. Then they're like, all right, centimeters. And then they don't know how to like do conversions. They remember that this is the way that we always do it.
But so that you make everybody feel like idiots.
Yes.
yeah, you're gaslighting
all the time.
America. They pull out
They're
a
just like, why do I not remember how to use the metric system? We
I-
always
using
used
a
it.
tape measure, and they're just like, what? Since when? What?
This seems too big to be a centimeter.
I don't understand. but they know how to use it.
Yeah.
That's funny. You're gonna ruin a lot of like contractors.
Oh yeah. A lot of houses are gonna have really bad construction.
For like 5 to 10 years or whatever, but then we will all have been better off because it will force the new generations.
No, it will instill everyone to be like, that was the worst time ever. We can never go back to that.
Oh.
And then imperialism would go.
Imperialism?
And then we become imperialists.
Yeah,
The reign of imperialism under Levi.
No, but yeah, then we get the imperial measurements back worldwide again.
What do you think, Jude?
Were they worldwide at one point?
I mean, they were
don't
British, and Britain ruled like or had control over the
A lot
majority of the globe at one point. And so it was pretty much global, but it wasn't.
Basically, anyone
was like
who's
the
measuring
first
anything.
Kind of standard
It was like
thing.
what?
Anyone who's measuring something, they're using the imperial.
And then once they switched over to metric, it became
good
like the
point.
standard
You know,
for the rest of the
because the
world.
people that they hadn't conquered, not too terribly worried about tape
Measuring.
measures.
Well, they were, but they were using like just whatever stick they could find.
Stick, stone.
Whatever stick they could find.
Yeah, there's like
This
it's
is
this
one
many
stick in
this
length.
sticks long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This stick is short. What do you
When
do?
did the official transition to the metric system even happen? Like for the vast majority of the world.
1948 too?
What happened in 1942?
The transition
Nothing in
to the
particular.
metric
That's why
system.
we remember that. Okay.
Oh.
What?
Nothing in particular.
Oh, wait. So, do you know?
I don't know the
Oh,
exact
okay.
time.
Never mind then. If I had to pick a memory, I think it would be. I was having so much fun listening to the two of you talk about what yours would be. I didn't even think about what mine would
Well,
be.
it's funny
No, yeah, that was
actually.
the same thing
Before
that I
we
did.
talked, you were the only one that knew the question, so you
Yeah.
had the most time to think.
Get
back.
wrecked.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Man, that's true. Yeah. Maybe Jerry should start
that's
running the
true.
show, and Jude shouldn't be.
I think it would be better if Jerry ran it. But
I
Jerry,
think I just have everybody remember. See, I was about to do this thing where, like, when I can't come up with an answer, I just start saying one. and
Just
then hope-
start
So I'll
talking.
do this thing where
I
I go,
love that.
"Oh, I think this would be my answer if I," and then I hope words come out. Nothing happened.
when I was trying to remember that name.
Yeah. Yesterday, Jude was trying to remember just a name. Like
Wait.
the name. What?
So that hackers could have a field day if everybody had the same memory of having the same first pet. And then everybody has the memory of the
Well,
same
but they wouldn't go
pet's name.
change their thing. They would just like
Yeah.
try and log into their own account and not be able to get in.
No. But now, whenever they make any like
new
new
accounts.
accounts, the thing is now always Fluffy is the name of the dog.
Okay. I think I would probably just plant a memory that like I was about to say something really terrible.
Go do it. Say it.
You can do it, Jude.
Do it, Jude.
That's true. Jude is
can get
saying
away
this.
with it.
you can't. Jerry couldn't be.
That
able
they
to get
woke
away.
up on Christmas morning and saw Santa dead on their floor. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, originally my mind was like, oh, what if every child like saw Santa Claus? They all remembered like not the dead thing. My initial thought was then I was like, just this make it.
I
funny.
remember when Santa died.
But no, my initial thought was like, what if like you could make it so everybody distinctly remembered like having literally seen Santa like land on their roof, fly away. So you had all these people who are like fairly intellectual people who are like, it makes literally no logical sense for this to at all be realistic.
it's like
but
Christmas
I know
movies.
I saw it happen. But then I thought it'd be funny to say this on.
It's like Christmas
dead.
movies where Santa's real and
Yeah.
not all the parents are just
Okay,
like,
okay,
they
that
just
is
don't
one
talk about
thing
it, but somehow
that I-
kids are getting gifts.
that I love. When like all these movies will have like a Christmas or like a TV show will have like a Christmas special.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, they're always leave it ambiguous whether or not Santa Claus is real.
Yeah.
I just
So it's like canon in almost every show.
in
'cause
almost every show because there is always some supernatural
Christmas
way
episode
of
and there's-
presence making it there.
Yeah, or like the janitor winks and there's a little bit of sparkle in his beard.
Or
It's
like you can see Santa and his reindeer flying away
Yeah.
in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's
like right after the movie just disproved Santa Claus, and then
It
it's pulling
pans up.
away.
Yeah.
And it's like Elfine or whatever, and then you see Santa Claus fly. You're like, "Whoa, the
But
entire
I
movie
love
was
it
a
when
lie?"
it's like in adult shows that they do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
Like in
Friends.
Eureka, they did that with the
What is
Christmas.
that?
It's a sci-fi show.
Oh, okay.
Guy goes to a city in Oregon, and it's all like.
Oh, it's in
tech.
Oregon?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
is cool.
I've
But
always
it's all
wanted
like
to go to Oregon.
all the highest IQ people in the entire world all live in this one concentrated place. So like technology is way beyond what it should be
Why is it called Eureka?
because it's in Eureka, Oregon.
Yeah, there's a town called Eureka.
No,
Did you not know
there's
that?
There is.
No, there's not. Just like there's a, what is it, Yolo, California, or is that a county?
That's a lie.
No, it's
I know
real.
that there's the big sign now entering YOLO.
YOLO. Yeah, it's Yolo County.
Yeah.
You only live once county.
No.
You only live one county away from
YOLO.
Oregon. That's why it's called YOLO
No.
County.
That's why it's called YOLO. County.
Did I answer?
Your answer becomes
No,
a
you didn't.
lot less whimsical
Oh yeah.
when you take away Santa and you just realize that you're having every child remember finding a dead body.
No. That was a joke.
Oh.
The funny thing was a joke. My sincere answer was that everyone fervently remembers.
Seeing
Oh
Santa.
yeah, I watched him land on next door roof. Like I watched him out of my chimney, and then a little
just-
tiny satchel. No, he doesn't die. That was a joke. And then he puts a bunch of presents on that grow to size because it's like Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah.
And then he puts the bag away, and then up the chimney
Wait, wasn't Mary
again.
Poppins' bag? It was already large when she was like pulling it out.
No, it was regular size, wasn't it?
It was like regular size as she was pulling it out. It wasn't.
Oh
like
yes, I know. I was
miniature.
imagining
And
though that
then-
I said a little satchel. So I was imagining something like a dice bag sized, and then he's pulling at a bike that's like, whoop.
And then Santa's head pokes back out the chimney and he goes, "No one will ever believe you.
And also, you saw me, and I'm real.
I'm not dead." And then he leaves.
I'm
And so
definitely not.
everybody has that memory, young and old. Someone's 90 years old. They remember that happening as a kid. A new kid wakes up tomorrow and remembers it having happened this last year. And then
That
everybody,
Christmas-
right? So you've got we were talking about him earlier, Jordan Peterson or somebody like that who's like, I remember. Well, I can't do a voice.
I remember Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He came down my chimney.
But then everybody that year
He's
doesn't
real.
like they
But
don't
I
prepare.
can explain why he's real.
I can't explain.
They-
I can't
they
explain
don't-
why
It
he's
they-
doesn't make
real.
sense that he's real, but I saw him.
Santa Claus is real.
Everybody
don't
sees
prep
him.
anything,
Joe Rogan,
and then-
you saw him. I
Yeah.
saw him. This guy saw him. Everyone's seen
Let's
him.
not pretend like we didn't
literally
see Santa Claus.
literally everybody has the thought Santa Claus is real, so the next year everyone nationwide is disappointed.
Yes, that's my point.
They're all searching the North Pole and they can't find anything. Like we know.
Dude,
we know he's
Think
here.
about every
The
FBI
corporations-
agent, every detective.
All of the loss of sales because people are buying way less stuff.
They're assuming
they were just
Santa's gonna
expected
show
to
up.
arrive.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
expecting all of these
So,
people
like,
to buy, and then
breaking news,
nobody does.
Santa
Hey, we
delivers
would
no
reset
presents.
the economy. It's a hard reset because Christmas is one of the driving factors.
Ooh.
Yeah, Black Friday no longer exists.
Yeah. Think about all the big businesses that wouldn't go out of
All
business.
the
and
lives
small ones that
saved.
would. What?
All of the lives saved because of no more Black Friday. At least that year, it would
I
be
guess
like
that's
Oh,
less
people
true.
getting pummeled on the ground or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I don't think
What
that
a
really
grim-
happens anymore, right? Well, only in
People
never mind.
do die. Like there's always at least
You
one.
it's
have.
always
I
in
think you're
certain
more likely
places.
to die from that than
like
a shark
really,
attack.
really concentrated cities.
Yeah,
Right?
It's less funny now that I'm thinking about it, but there's always at least one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's sad to think about how
Some years are worse than others.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the year that the Wii came out, those are
Yeah.
the 2 years that time in my life where we were 23 around then.
Yeah. Well, I was 19. You were 23.
Yeah, no, I was 12, and the Wii had just come out, and it was those 2 years where I remember hearing that was the meme,
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday's terrifying and dangerous. Don't go.
Yeah.
And I
You'll
went
die.
the year the Wii came out. My dad and I were at Costco, and we were there to buy a Wii.
And you used to have a sixth sibling.
And I did used to have a sixth sibling.
Geronimo
Yeah, they were older than me. Geronimo was her name.
with a J.
Yeah. And she died that day.
Yeah.
And she's still at that Costco.
Yep.
No,
Lions
we were at
too.
Costco to get a Wii, and we managed to do it. But dude, it was bedlam.
Stuck
It
in
was
the new
chaos.
Yeah, they managed to do it, and they were the reason one person died that year.
All right, I'm done with the whole death thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why do
we
you
brought it up.
keep bringing that up?
Dude, I did not bring that one up.
No, you
Jerry over here.
You brought up a situation where all kids find
I didn't
a
say
dead
all
body.
kids. I said every person remembers. So you would have plenty of adults waking up one morning.
And
but that was
who
a
else?
joke.
All kids.
Also kids, and I didn't think about it. All right.
How dare you?
Hey, egg on my face.
Egg on my
Infants, babies that
Jude's a
don't
bad
have
guy.
the ability to have
Jude's a
long-term
bad guy.
memory yet, they already have one long-term
I didn't
memory
think about that.
of finding Santa Claus.
Well, not even just that. Whatever decision we come up with, it is also going to be, like when little babies right now get older, they're going to remember that whatever the memories that we plant in their head, that happened then for them. So what was yours?
The metric.
The metric system. I don't know. How that
Mine only
that's-
applies to babies, really. I
what
mean,
was yours?
you're born from
Yeah,
your
you were
father.
born from your father. So they all distinctly remember that, and the timeline works out.
Yep.
Gross.
Man, I'm sorry for what I put you through, Dad.
What are
A
you talking
newborn,
about?
Some like 6-month-old baby. Man, I'm sorry about what I put you
Hey,
through.
sorry, Dad.
His first words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. Well, I'm glad that we all had some answer. I'm not really sure if I liked them, but I
Yeah.
think I'm the primary culprit with why that one was
Yeah, how,
came up with the
how dare you,
question.
Jude?
unfortunate. But on that note, Jude's got a joke for us.
Jude's got a joke for us. We're done with the name switch.
Okay,
game.
I was like, I should put
I'm
myself
Jude.
on the spot.
Yeah, I'm Jude. That's Jerry.
As soon as I said it, I was like, did I just do that thing where I now put myself on the spot and I have to say something?
It's a good joke.
Go.
Okay, any joke that you have to start by with the
All right,
the
guys. I
preface that
promise you,
know
this
it's
this
joke
is a good joke.
it is funny.
Hey,
I
I'm
just
going to
wanna-
be a good president.
I just want our listeners to know that before I finish the joke.
Let me tell you, I'm going to be good.
Now let me be clear.
Now, let me be clear.
I'm gonna be a good boy.
Anytime someone says, now let me be clear, they're about to say something incredibly unclear. Just remember that.
Yeah, the same thing with no offense.
Yeah. Yeah, except one's funny.
Yep.
The other one's enraging.
Yeah. So this guy, the audio listeners.
I'm
will
sorry
love
for all you gag.
You mean
reflex.
the only listeners?
the only listeners. Yeah. Well,
Or
we're
a
recording
video.
this. We're just uploading it somewhere secret. So this guy walks into a bar, a karaoke bar, that only serves milk. Because
That's good.
alcohol's
Yeah,
evil.
good way to make a Christian.
Yep, boom. This guy walks into a bar, karaoke bar, and the guy goes, "Welcome in. What's your name?" Because that's what they do at bars. And the guy goes, "My name's Dylan Hershey."
Dylan Hershey?
Dylan Hershey. And the bartender goes, "Oh, that's a strange name." And then the customer says, "Yeah, well, my parents, were descended from the Hershey Bar Company." So he goes, "Okay." Another guy walks in, and he goes, "My name is Sean Reese's."
Sean Reese's?
Sean Reese's. And the bartender goes, "Reese's?" And the guy goes, "No, Reese's." And he goes, "Oh, that's interesting. We had a guy come in named Dylan Hershey." And he's like, "Well, I'm Sean Reese's of the Reese's Company." And he's like, "Oh, so your name is derived from the Reese's guy." He's like, "Yeah." So he sits down next to John Hershey, and then another guy comes in.
I thought it was Dylan Hershey.
But you've never heard this joke before. Stop talking.
You just said.
And then, no, you got it confused. Another guy comes in and he goes, "My name's Bob Crunch." And they go, "Whoa, we got Sean Hershey and Dylan Reese's." And your guys' name.
not staying consistent. You
your
want me to
name's-
write it down for you?
No. This is and the guy goes, "Your name's Bob Crunch. Are you by any chance?" He goes, "That's me. I'm descendant of the guy that made the Crunch Bar. His last name was, Crunch. I'm his son from a while down." And so he sits down next to the other guys, and a fourth guy walks in.
I'm prepared.
And he goes, my name's Dave Goodbart. And he goes, "Are you by any chance a descendant?" And he cuts him off and he goes, "Yeah, I'm the descendant of Marley Goodbar, the creator of the Good Bar." He goes, "Wow, that's crazy coincidence. Are you with these guys? Are you guys together?" And they all go, No. We've never met each other." And he's like, "Man, it's crazy. You're all named after these great candy bars." And And then this other guy comes in and he goes, they all kind of turn and look at him. And he's like, what? And the bartender goes, well, we've got whatever Hershey. Some
It was
Dylan
John
Reese's
Hershey.
guy, Bob Crunch. Don't remember this guy except his last name is Goodbar, which is dumb. What's your last name? And he goes, well, that's a weird question to ask your patron when he walks in. And he goes, my last name? It's 1,000 grand. Or 100 grand. Whoops. He goes, my last name is 100 grand. and they're all like, this is impossible. Are you named after the guy that made the 100 grand bar? Because the guy that made the 100 grand bar is famously, his last name is 100 grand. And he looks at him and he's kind of confused and he goes, what? I'm named after your mom. That's the joke.
Am I missing something?
I don't think so. I think it's the
Sorry, I
funniest
hit the
joke.
wrong button.
Thank you.
What a waste of time.
Yeah. What a colossal failure. I wish I wasn't here right now. Dude, I was so excited for that to be
What are you
funny.
talking about? The punchline was perfect. It completely
No.
subverted expectation.
It did. If I've learned anything
yeah,
from
it's
modern
the-
cinema,
Subverting
expectations makes it
good. And only good.
And did I subvert your expectation?
You did. Thus,
Yeah,
good
that's-
joke.
Was
It was a good joke.
Good segment. Everybody, tell us on the Discord how you felt about this.
Well, if
How
people
good you
say
felt.
that they think it's bad, then they
Then
were
you're
they must have expected what he was
factually
going to
wrong.
say. Well, they expected what he was going to say.
Well, here's the
He
truth.
didn't subvert their expectations.
Here's the truth about the joke. If you find it funny, that's fine. Obviously, it's a funny joke. If you
Obviously.
don't find it funny, you're wrong. So
See, that
You're
was
listening
fun.
to jokes wrong.
you're listening. You didn't get the joke if you don't find it funny. Yeah, there you go. I'll have a joke next week.
Ugh, that was a disappointment.
Can it be an
man.
actual
I-
joke?
What do you mean? What do you mean an actual joke?
Like a traditional.
Honestly, you know what was really funny?
What's that?
So it's like this idea where the expectation of something. What's better? Like people say, the journey's better than the destination.
Destination, yeah.
That joke is a perfect, that may not always be true, but that joke is 100% a perfect example.
Dude.
The journey was so much more enjoyable because we were sitting here dying laughing just when you were about to introduce the next guy. I thought the punchline was coming.
Crunch?
Yeah,
Or
no,
John
after Bob
Goodbar?
Crunch, before Goodbar, I thought the punchline was coming, and we all just started dying, just expecting it. So it was fun.
I was expecting
I apologize.
Captain.
That was a good
It's a
joke.
very high level of intellectual
It
comedy.
is.
Yeah.
It's highbrow humor.
I was expecting
You really
the
have
Crunch
to
Bar
be-
guy to be like Captain Crunch, and then that was going to be the joke.
guys
If
hear
you
about-
don't own an ivory tower, that's why you didn't laugh.
What? Did you hear about
Highbrow
Norm
guy.
Macdonald?
Huh?
Huh?
Did I hear about Norm Macdonald? I've heard of him. Why?
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he died.
He died?
Yeah,
Yep.
unfortunately, it's
When did he die?
Recently, I think the past.
Oh, I didn't know
year and a
that.
half or something. Yeah.
I just heard that he died. Dude,
Oh, I think I
about that?
might have. I'm
Yeah.
getting him mixed up with somebody else.
David Spade, common misconception.
Yeah, they're very similar.
They look very similar.
Yeah, similar
Norm Macdonald
heights.
died. I think it was cancer, but
oh, that's sad.
yeah, he's like one of my favorite comedians because his whole thing was like the journey is better than the destination. Like he tells
Yeah.
these ridiculous jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea of like setting up a joke.
That's why I
so
made the
someone's
stupid joke was because it was like,
expecting
oh, this is kind of.
Well,
a
you've
Norm
been
Macdonald
making these jokes recently, like to
Yeah.
this effect, and they're pretty funny.
joke. No, but Norm Macdonald, probably one of my favorite comedians. I just probably fair advice. Not all of his stuff is great, and not all of it is clean. I wouldn't recommend most
No.
of it, but no, there was an interview with his son, which I didn't even know he had a son, and he was talking about he did have cancer,
Mhm.
and he had not like told nobody about it, and
That's-
going to,
Sorry, I'll talk about that afterward.
no, go ahead.
Oh, that's just something that's been happening a lot with people.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick
Kept it
Boseman,
secret.
and there's just these people that are like in the public eye that are dying of cancer or something, and like nobody knew. Which
Yeah.
I guess maybe that speaks to like it's not we have no right to know. I guess,
No, yeah.
but like
But how were they
it's gotta be
hiding this
interesting.
information from?
well that, but like I don't know. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
That was where you were going with that? You're just going to tell us that he died and then nobody knew?
Yeah. Subverting our expectations.
See, that's funny. Oh! We had already heard it. I was going to try and fake a laugh because I've already heard the joke, but
Yep.
you got
That
it.
was actually
Again.
that was
That
so
was a
much
trick.
funnier than the first time that you said
That was.
whole-
See, that was a good trick. Well done.
You're welcome.
You got me.
Yeah. And those people who haven't heard the joke
Are just like, that
are
was...
very confused.
Somehow they didn't think it could get worse, but it did.
Yeah. They just laughed at Norm MacDonald dying of cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
You're
you feel
horrible.
bad.
You should feel bad.
Yeah, anybody that's listening to this that laughed during any of that, you're a terrible person.
Also, if you're confused at who told the joke, my name's Jerry.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, what was that other thing that we wanted to talk about because of this? At the very beginning of the podcast, you were like, we want to talk about this, and then I got a joke, and there's something after the joke.
What?
But I have it on my phone.
No, it wasn't that. It was when we started recording, you were like, we got to talk about this. And it kind of threw me off. It was after the joke, we wanted to talk about this. What was it? Do you remember? You're just looking at me. Speak. Even if you don't know, you can say something in response.
I have no idea.
All right, cool. So we'll move on.
What you're talking about.
Okay.
You're saying it in a very, obviously I should know what we're talking about.
No, obviously, you're the one that said it, so I thought there was something
Jude
else.
just
did I
has a
say?
dumbfounded.
I don't
look
remember.
on
That's
his
why I
face.
asked you. It's okay, though. Do you want to move on to the video we have to watch? Or it's actually more audio for us. But
Yeah, I feel I'm just dumb.
you're not dumb. I forgot it, too.
That's okay.
I'm Jerry, by the way.
Yeah, dumb.
Let's listen to that video.
All right. So this one was sent to us again by our resident guy in the chair,
He keeps sending this video.
Brad. Yeah. It's titled "Woman Admits to Divorcing Her Loving Husband Because." Well, I won't spoil it. Let's just find out why she divorced her loving husband.
My first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to work and work and work from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, I need more money.
Sorry.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was
He took a hard shift.
he loved me and David unconditionally, completely unconditionally.
tell
And when
because they
you
stopped
love
making
someone like that,
Well, new
you
music
really
has started.
accept their flaws and you accept less than what you should. So really, I should have been a better wife. Every time we saw each other, you knew that was your soulmate, right? I mean,
Wow, so he was your soulmate?
it's hard because I knew how he still felt about me.
He just loved you.
He really did.
And you broke his heart.
She's a horrible person.
Oh,
I wouldn't know if
cry
he didn't have the
too.
music.
The other lady's just like, oh, they hugged it out. So she saw some value in her.
Real
words.
quick, I get the music in the second half. Sad piano. I don't get the music in the first half.
I do. I mean, it's wrong.
What?
Well, it's 100% there because the idea is that she is proud of. It's like this idea, this secular idea of yeah, take what you want, go get what you want. Yeah, do something that's justifiably and arguably terrible and horrible to someone because you want to do this other thing. Yeah, it's this weird culture thing.
But I am genuinely curious if the woman saying that is intending it to be that way.
She's not.
Yeah, but the production team has decided.
Yes.
Add the music.
Because like the first time we listened to this, that's what I was thinking that she was. Now having listened to that initial
I
thing,
don't think she's like, I don't think
no,
she's saying
I think
that way.
she's leading in to prove that she was
wrong. Mm-hmm. And then the production team was like, we need some sauce. We need some spice.
We need some sauce.
Throw in some really chill hip hop.
So do we know
vibes.
what the resolution is?
Well, what resolution is?
Did she like try and go back to him?
I don't know. The video ends. I mean, she's married, so she'd have to... 2 wrongs, I mean... She's...
Make her right.
Well...
interesting thing to note
like-
on when she's done with the hip hop segment, the other lady goes, so you just decided you were done with that and you wanted this, and so you were going to move on. Discord. And then as soon as the other lady starts telling how she was wrong, then the other girl just completely flips her.
Oh. We're being told... No, Jude, finish your thought first. Go ahead.
Whoa. I don't like the host. I don't like the host how she's just flipping.
Yeah. The host is the real problem in this.
Yeah.
We're being told that she said at the beginning of the video that...
Can we just play the beginning?
yeah.
I
I
thought-
did not hear her say that.
I did. I thought she was.
Or, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really
This is a shorter clip of a clearly longer thing where we're missing some context. Because yes, they do say that, but I think if we'd had the context, it's kind of been like an offhanded remark. But she's saying
totally read into that and thought she had been in 2 marriages, and she was just really quick saying, "My first marriage, we did all the mistakes."
She's not in 2 marriages,
and he died, and now I'm talking about why I'm divorcing my second husband. That's what I thought she was saying.
let's re-listen to it because I think we're all confused.
we wanted something different. It's very unfortunate. Marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was...
So it
You
was
seem
the
like you're
first
getting it. I'm still not getting it.
one. No, yeah. So she.
You were right?
Why did you divorce?
He's
why did
dead
you
now,
divorce
but
them?
they're talking
They
about originally
divorced.
they did divorce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Weird
he
way of
died.
going about it.
And she's pointing out that, like, probably in retrospect, having now him died, she's realized that what she did was wrong.
Yeah.
Or she's regretting it more now. Maybe she did regret it before. Not to say that she only because he's dead she's realizing, but
Yeah.
or
And
he's
it may
dead. Did I say
have
she's dead?
It may have contributed to.
Oh, I 100% it does.
What?
I bet it does. Well, when someone dies, you probably think more heavily about the ways that you
My bad.
wronged them.
Oh, I.
Thought you were saying the divorce influenced him dying.
Oh, I'm saying that it may have.
It may have.
That's why I was like, what?
We don't know that though.
I'm. It's all conjecture.
Yeah, Your Honor.
That is.
Your Honor.
Strike that from the record.
Hearsay.
Conjecture.
Hearsay.
Hearsay. Hearsay.
Hearsay.
You called the witness.
Your Honor, I pooped the bed.
Objection. Hearsay.
Objection. My dog stepped on a beat.
Did we have anything else about this that we want?
I don't like
I don't know if we've really offered any
the
true
Hollywood
insights.
serialized relationship.
Serialized. What do you
I'm
mean by
tired of
serialized?
people's relationships.
Being just
Marriages,
period.
I should say. Yeah, I'm tired of people.
And that's on
I'm
period.
so alone. I'm tired of celebrities and I don't know if like influencer is the right word, but like people of notoriety openly
People in the
talking about
public
their
eye.
marriages
Yeah. As if they're good examples of them.
as if they're good examples and
Well, they don't have any
just
clue that they're not.
putting all the problems that I think belong between a man, woman, and God, and maybe between man, woman, God, and a church, out for the public to just be like, thanks for letting us listen in.
Well, we don't know that this lady.
I don't know that this
Christians.
lady's doing this, but this...
I think that would be weird if people came to the realization of what you're saying that are not Christians, right? We can't expect them to be like. We can't expect
No,
unbelievers.
that's ridiculous.
No, but, like,
you can't just
having-
say that, like, we
No,
can't
I'm
expect
not
them to come
letting
to
them
that
off the
conclusion.
hook. I'm just saying you shouldn't be surprised this is going on.
I'm not surprised. I'm saying I'm tired of it because
Yeah,
even
well, it's
from
not going
like
to
a-
stop just because
even
we're tired
from like a non-Christian.
because we're not going to be able to go like,
I'm
hey,
not trying to fix the world's problem. I'm giving my opinion on a podcast where that's what we do. I don't expect the world to be like, well, Jude said to stop. No more red table
No,
talk.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you saying that. I'm just saying that, like, by me saying we can't stop it,
Yeah.
what can we do about it is more like where I was going with that.
Tell
But
people
continue
to stop.
continue your thought. I'm sorry.
I'm just tired of it. I know that like the Smith family, Will Smith's wife, has a table talk show. It's so just abominable to see like all the things that have ruined a marriage and potentially could have been fixed on display for the world to see.
Yeah.
It's
Well, because then you have people that are like,
you feel vindicated by it, like Mrs. Smith.
oh, I wasn't even talking about that. I was saying when it's in the public eye, you're going to have individuals who look at it. And obviously, you know, you're going to have people on either sides of it.
Yeah.
So you're getting people that are like reading into the parts of it that are verifiably poor, like bad and unfortunate, and wrong choices, which it might be on both sides of that situation. I don't know. But and those people are looking at it as if like, yes, this reaffirms.
Yes, this reaffirms
all
my
those people.
opinion. I'm so happy she brought that up.
Who?
Goblins.
Oh, okay. No, but
Goblins.
I thought what you were going to get at was like how at the beginning of this clip, we kind of touched on this earlier, but like you have the music kind of adding into the narrative of this first version of what she's telling. And you can tell if you re-listen to it, the lady that's talking about her now passed away husband, she's clearly building up to talk about how she
Was wrong.
right? Yeah. And the other lady though is presumably like the interviewer, maybe, I don't know, is like, yeah, like, amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, way to go, sister.
Yeah.
Like, because she's like nodding with her, and then she, I muted it for a second there because I had to, but like, she's kind of, she recaps what she says, and is like, oh yeah, so you wanted out of this.
And you were like, heck yes.
Yeah, heck yes, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's
then
a good
the other
thing.
goes like,
I want more money.
No. I made a massive mistake.
I made a mess.
And then the interviewer goes,
But it would be one thing if the interviewer, I mean, it's already bad that she does a full 360, or not 360, 180, flips around. Oh. She does a 180, flips around, and instead of like being, way to go, you know, you went out and got what you wanted, she flips to the, you know, like feeling bad for her. But then she, beyond just feeling bad for her, she starts like condemning her. Like, you broke his heart. You broke his heart. Oh, and then she goes, come here, and like reaches out to give the lady a hug as if like,
can't believe she hugged her.
she would.
Can't believe
That's
she
what
Why?
hugged her.
That's where you draw the line?
That was sarcasm.
Okay. Sorry, Levi, it seemed like you were trying to say something earlier and I cut you off. No? I was wrong. Got it. My mistake. Was there anything else in there? I mean, I think we've touched on it a little bit here.
I think it's an interesting kind of example of a lot of what's going on right now. I think tonally it's different. Like right now, I think it's really the table talk thing. I can't remember what it's called. But
It might be called table talk.
I feel like some of it though, it's good to have just
Let him finish.
a small amount of it because
Wait, what's good?
the having certain relationships be more in the light, like to show like the whole Johnny Depp thing, you know?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Who's that? Sorry.
Some actor or something.
Oh, okay. Never heard of him.
He played Will
Napoleon Dynamite.
He
Will
played
Turner
Peter Parker.
in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Actually, there was a period of time where he was in talks to be Peter Parker. So was Leonardo DiCaprio, but go on.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it would have been a weird movie.
That would have been
James
a
Cameron
very
was the
different.
director.
I'm so sorry.
That is in the same universe where Nicolas Cage was also cast as Superman.
The Tim Burton universe. Tim Burton
Hard
loves
sell,
Johnny
Marvel
Depp.
DC.
No. I'm talking about the alternate timeline.
Oh, the alternate
Our
timeline
own
of
time.
our universe.
Parallel universe.
Ooh, I'd like to go to that universe
Just to watch the movies.
just to watch the movies and be like, never mind, those are bad.
No, but just because of the whole like just because of the whole the abuse that was going on and then being spouted as he was abusing her while she was like from what I've seen of the evidence, it seems as if she was abusing him.
Allegedly.
This is conjecture.
No, but allegedly.
I'll be honest, man. Usually the one pooping the bed is the abuser.
Jeez.
But anyway, I think that that has brought a lot of talk of because there is a lot of woman to man like abuse.
Oh yeah.
That men don't get the support for.
Yeah, it's usually just
of like
swept under the rug.
Yeah, the hundreds of abuse shelters. There is one that is available for men in America at the moment.
Yeah,
and it's really bad.
So here's a thing though. You're saying that you think it's good sometimes that these are in the public eye because then we can look to them as examples and we're able to dissect them and talk about like why, like what things lead to these relationships failing, right?
Yeah.
Like if they're in the public eye. But what if if they weren't in the public eye, is what you're saying that if we didn't have them in the public eye, then we just wouldn't have examples or we wouldn't have ways to look at them?
No, I'm saying that
or that now that it's happened, it's good that it's now in the public eye.
Yeah.
No, I agree in that regard. There is a now massively not monetized, publicized image of like something that is going undisclosed, largely in America and all over the place. I'm sure
because there are many men that are afraid to come forward because of the stigmatism around it.
Yeah. You need to man up, and then when you do man up, it's
and but the support around it has been good, but there is a lot of people that are directly opposed to that, and no matter what's coming forward, they're still just like, "Oh, you just got to believe her." But
directly opposed to what? Sorry.
Oh, opposed to like hearing what's actually being stated.
They're just saying. You mean the believe all women people?
Yeah. No matter what.
Sorry, not to get too political. No matter what, I mean, even in the face of glaring evidence, hey, still believe what she says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is maybe it's not a good thing that it's out there, but there is a good thing that has finally come out of one of the relationships being on display.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to bring up when you were saying that. I don't necessarily think that it means that because, like this example you're using, right? Because it's in the public eye, it necessarily means that it's a good thing it's in the public eye, even though we're learning from it. I think that just because it's good for a large number of people to be able to look at something and dissect it and like, yeah, it's raising awareness or whatever for this sort of issue, I think ultimately it would be much better for the two people involved had it never been.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it still get resolved. Obviously, it wasn't getting resolved, and I think that speaks to the fact that they're not in like a Christian relationship in any sense of the means. So they don't have the foundation for a legitimate, like strong marriage built up or whatever. They're in a public marriage. This Hollywood idea of what marriage is anyway. But all I'm saying is that for the people involved, when you have a broken marriage, I think ultimately it'd be much, much better if it wasn't in public eye, because you could actually find some healing without it being, without like the entirety of what people understand about you being stained by this situation. Like both of them, for better or worse, their careers, their lives, and their families' lives are now stained with this court case. We've taken this video and completely derailed to like this Johnny Depp thing, but
there is one difference, at least from my knowledge of everything, that this was coming out because of everything that was going on. It wasn't like they were like, hey, we need to talk about our marriage on this roundtable interview.
Oh, I know. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, because there were issues, then these things were being made public, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, ultimately,
it is a different situation than like the red table talk.
Yes,
that's what
it is very different.
I was talking about serialized, because you've got these people who are not qualified. They're qualified to talk about their own problems. I think everyone is, but they're not qualified to understand or have the right answers, because neither of them, I think, are Christian, living a Christian as a Christian.
Neither of who?
The Smith situation, the whole table talk thing. So you've got them
the sad thing is, at one point, I can't speak to his heart, but Will Smith used to profess that he was a Christian. Yeah.
Oh,
and he still would say he is. It doesn't mean that anything he says lines up with Christian values.
I don't think
he still says in interviews he's a Christian, but a lot of the things he says do not line up with.
Oh, and you can look at certain lifestyle choices.
Yeah, you can look at what he says when he's not saying he's a believer. You can also look at what he's doing to see his actions dictate what his heart believes.
But then you've got these people talking about their problems and then giving some armchair psychology as to why it is and why it's fixed. And, we finally figured it out, right? Yeah. We finally fixed it.
Well, isn't it out of that table talk discussion is what led them to be like, we're going to have an open marriage because that'll fix it too?
No, it wasn't just
was that where they came forward with that?
That's where
I think that's where he got strong-armed,
up about it.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's where Will opened up about it. But
it was like, this is a good thing.
No, it wasn't a result of it that it happened.
But man,
his wife just wanted that.
He's like a broken man.
Oh, it's so sad.
I'm so tired of people feeling too bad for him.
Now,
same thing with Johnny Depp. Like, you got two people. If both of them are actively working towards like a healthy Christian Christ-centered relationship, you don't get situations like Will Smith and Johnny Depp. If one of them is actively working towards a Christ-centered Christian relationship, you don't get situations like Johnny Depp and Will Smith. You have to know that last bit. You also don't get situations like Johnny Depp and Will Smith.
Well, there's only so much that you can do from your side of it
before you must no longer partake in that relationship. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were not married.
They were.
They were?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought that they were married.
Pretty sure that they were married, dude.
Oh. Even if they were.
Correct. Your entire argument invalid.
Even if they were, that means leading up to the marriage, obviously there wasn't enough time, obviously there wasn't enough counsel, obviously these two
people. They were married from 2015 to 2017.
Yeah. It doesn't change anything. I'm not blaming, I'm not victim blaming or whatever that is. I'm just saying, if you've got one person fully trying to make a relationship a functioning, good, healthy relationship, which has to have Christian, Christ-like influence on it.
Well, you just don't get built on.
Yeah, you don't get situations like values. That. Johnny Depp, after repeatedly being abused by this woman, and her showing no signs of stopping, continued to try to be with her. Like that, you can't just look at that and say he made the right decision.
It is easy to look at the situation and feel bad for him. Like even when we were saying, it's easy to look at Will Smith and feel bad for him.
It is awful.
And it is awful.
Same thing with Will Smith.
Yeah, they're the ones that are suffering for it. Yeah. But it is important that in that suffering, you recognize that they got themselves there. Yes. Right? Because then, if like what Levi was saying earlier, we have the benefit of these two colossal failures being in the public eye. We can now look at that, right, and dissect it and see, where the failings are. It's important that when we look at that, we recognize, well, they got themselves into this situation because it was built on, sand.
Yeah, and it's very rarely, I would probably say never, that you get a situation where two individuals are trying to build a healthy relationship and get married or commit to each other, and then one of them turns out to be a almost Pulp Fiction-y level narcissist sociopath that was faking their entire identity and actually turns out to be this abuser.
I'm sure it's happened, but
I mean,
I know specifically
ever.
Yes,
one
but that's
in very close to me.
It's fine if you know them, but it's all odds wise, numbers wise. That is not common. No. That is not a thing that traditionally happens where there are no signs, where it's all hidden, it's all an act until they're married, and then it switches. That's very rare. That is very rare.
It is rare.
If the appropriate time is
spent. I think the only reason I would have
if the appropriate time is spent.
I'm not talking about people that date for a month and get married.
Yes, that's the problem with people rushing marriage.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying these situations, the problem is either both parties didn't spend enough time, or the extremely rare case where one is a complete sociopath, narcissist, lying, everything
masterclass con man.
Yes, almost fiction level masterclass.
Mustache twirling
villainy. Yeah. I know it happens. It's just not the norm, right?
Yeah.
So you look at these situations, it's more than likely that both parties are at fault.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah. People jump to Will Smith's aid and Johnny Depp, and like Johnny Depp was being abused.
No, those are
in the
different. I
court
think
case.
people are not jumping to Will Smith's aid. At least people like us right now, a whole lot. Like Levi and I, yes, we did both start to kind of say we feel bad for him. But if we had talked more about that, I think we would both.
No,
say,
Yeah,
I know
it's just
you guys.
in those, like, there are specific moments where it's like,
you can see him.
man, this is a guy that really
It's
loved
rough.
like
He's
the
broken.
relationship
And
that he had.
tries and has talked about trying. And
And
it's
now he's at the point where he's allowing it to continue to happen to him, and he's broken, and so now
Yeah.
he's lashing out. Right?
yeah. And it's
But
horrible,
he's-
and I do feel bad.
It's a pretty difficult situation though. 'cause
I do feel bad. But
because
Yes,
of
but
it being in
to be kind of a go ahead.
no, just because of it being all in the public eye.
in the public eye.
Right, but to be
can
kind of a jerk
ruin-
to him about it. I mean, to
think
be a
it's
jerk
being a
about
jerk.
it. No, like don't get yourself in those situations.
Don't get yourself in
Right?
those
Like I mean,
situations.
I know the countless times I've talked. I mean, you like
Yeah,
people also
there were other
like in
decisions
our
you should
lives,
have
right?
made that
Yeah.
would have helped.
I mean, there are
Rarely
people
there are
that
no
you can
signs
easily
that
point
something
at
happens.
who constantly like get themselves into the exact same negative situations, right? And you're just like, well, you're a dog, that keeps returning to its vomit,
Yeah.
right? Like Dad likes to say that phrase a lot, and I think right now it's very suitable. But like, what?
Why'd you pat me on the back?
Class.
Like a dog. that turns
Dad
towards
also
vomit.
dad like he keeps saying dog always returns.
Oh,
Me, Levi's your dad.
yeah.
Oh
No, but like you know, I'm sure everybody can think of somebody that
Yeah.
I mean, us too sometimes, right? I mean, I
I'm
can
not
think of times in
calling
my
the
life
people in my example dumb. I'm not saying
I
you
know.
have to be oblivious. I'm saying it's super easy. Sometimes it's way easier of an option to seem to continuously go back to that person.
yeah,
But you, at some point, are responsible for your decisions.
yeah. Oh no, they should
Yeah.
be responsible. Yeah, that's why I mean it's
just makes me
sad
mad.
too because when it's in public eye like this,
Yeah.
you have way more people than just those two now that it's indirectly or very directly negatively affecting.
Yeah.
Right? You have people like Johnny Depp's family and friends and stuff who it's very very much negatively affecting, and Will Smith's children who I'm sure it's negatively affecting. Like, and I'm not to say that they are like entirely innocent in their lives and just sitting on the sidelines, getting hurt. But
It's undebatably a terrible thing.
It is sad, that, because their parents have established a family unit on sin and lies. These children that are in the situation. I mean, you and I think can easily find some really some what's the word I'm looking for? Some empathy there for children in a situation where it feels like everything bad that's happening to them is because of their parents.
No, yeah.
I mean, I'm not calling out
Everything
our
bad
parents
that's
for like
happened to me is
hurting
because of
us
my
or whatever.
parents.
But I mean, for those that don't
Wow.
know, I mean, our
What a
parents are
great
divorced,
article.
and there's periods of time that we've gone through, and I'm saying gone through because I think I'm past that with what I'm about to say, but like where it feels like everything wrong in your life at that time is because your parents did something or whatever, right? And
You are having to suffer through consequences of your parents' actions, right?
yeah.
And that sucks. And I do feel empathy for those kids. And I feel empathy for the people. I mean, I don't understand what it's like to be married and have kids, but like it's just human that you can have empathy with them.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so hard is looking like that's why I hate the serialized for your entertainment. Here's our marital problems.
Yeah.
And once a decision
'Cause the
gets
world
made,
loves drama.
like the one that Will Smith went to then go, hey, this isn't working out, like right directly after,
All the harder.
because it's something that like on paper, according to society and everything, you'd think, oh, it's a no-brainer. This works because like when you don't have morals and everything, then it's like, oh, cool.
you don't have
it
morals
doesn't
or
Objective morals. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, objective, like Christian morals, then this should totally work. And then when they find out, oh, wait, this isn't really fulfilling for me, now to go against that would not only like going against what you already stated and what societal norms, quote unquote, would be, and going against your partner in a situation where it wasn't really like definitive in everyone's eye that one or the other was in the wrong to begin with. That it can be really negatively impact your, like, especially being in such a big eye and having all of your income and like the future of your own prestige
attached to your persona.
to you, like, so integrally.
Your social credit score.
Yeah. And it can be a really, really difficult decision, and the worldly stuff gets like more important than like having a moral and like a healthy.
If Will Smith is a Christian, which I hope he is, and he's trying to make this work, and his wife is not. And I don't know the inner workings. I just know what they've proselytized about.
Well, clearly we know a lot of the inner workings because it's been.
I'm subscribed to the Table Talk. I watch it every day. I hate it, but I watch it every day. No.
Can't peel your eyes away.
Can't stop watching. No, but it's... I mean, there is one... Not reason, but one... And also, I don't want to say acceptable, but one of the reasons that it's said divorce may occur, and it's not inherently wrong. I'm tiptoeing around this because I'm not...
Because it's a controversial topic among
Christians, is adultery.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unessential...
it's the union of bodies between someone outside the marriage, and it's horrible. And if that's continuing to happen, I mean, if Will Smith is a Christian, I hope, what I hope for everyone, right? Every couple, is that it works out, they find Christ, and they repay their marriage.
Mm-hmm. Repair, yeah. I think you said repay.
They repay
me for every wrong you've done.
In the Thunderdome. It just sucks because I don't know. It's terrible, and I hate it, and I hate the serialized. And it's because we come from this, our parents having gone through it.
It just depresses me.
Yeah, we had to go through so much, and these people, whether they realize it or not, like, they have kids, and they're putting all those problems to the nth degree now, especially on their children, and their children's children,
and the
whether they realize it or not, it's going to permanently affect, I think, their children.
It already has.
It's 100% going to inform how their children view marriage and how their children view family for the rest of their life.
If Will Smith is claiming to be a Christian, it's going to affect how they view Christian marriage,
and it's going to affect how the world views Christian marriage,
their marriage, and it's everything, because they've put it on this spotlight for people to dissect as if we need to know.
Yep.
Oh man, it just frustrates me. It's like it's a soapbox issue. It gets me fired up because I know what some of that is like.
Yeah, and for us, it was like still different. I mean,
of course,
for us, it's a situation where our parents.
Your parents aren't Will and Jada Smith?
Oh, for those who don't know, no, my parents are not Will and Jada Smith.
No, mine are, but Jude's aren't.
In case you're confused.
No, I mean, for us, obviously, it was different because our parents are Christians and raised us on Christian values and everything. But like, and even for them, obviously there were issues, and it led to this. But and I think it's an effort for me to not allow that to inform how I view marriage, right? It would be very easy as a child in a situation like this. And I'm lucky to have been, into young adulthood when it really solidified, but it would be very easy to regress into this like idea that just informs what marriage is to me, and I become bitter and run from the idea
between you and Christ and your partner. It's just kind of social contract. It's this government paper,
which is what I mean. Like these people in the public eye might view it, like this Hollywood marriage, but I mean that's the fight for you and I feel, especially right now, because I know the two of us, being the two oldest at home, we have the luxury of knowing that we were at least into young adulthood when this was solidified, right? Well, I guess I don't know how old you were, but
a child.
But still, we have a little bit more ability to kind of look back on it and hopefully not allow it to inform how we move forward, right? And how we view relationships. And it's going to, no matter what, and hopefully it will in a good way. Hopefully it will allow us to not make some of the same mistakes, right? But the fight for you and I right now is to try and make sure it doesn't negatively influence our youngest siblings, right? And I mean, maybe we could talk more at length about this in a future
Might
episode.
be a good topic for
Yeah, I mean, if we choose to get that deep with our personal lives, but
I think it could.
I think it would be good.
beneficial.
But what I was getting at is it's different, right? Like we were talking about us relating to this idea. But what makes it different is because we were at least raised on those values, but you have these kids who, I don't know, they might be older than us, Jaden Smith or whatever.
They're
but,
older than us.
I don't think he's older than me.
He's like the same age.
I think he's the same age,
is.
but isn't his sister older than him?
Don't know.
I don't know
But
either.
think about, like, they don't have the luxury of having at least at one point been raised presumably, or we can't speak to it. Maybe they were raised on good Christian values, but from everything that's in the public eye that they're putting in the public eye, we can only speak to what they've told us because they have been so generous to tell us so much. They don't have this background to hopefully fall back on like you and I do. Regardless of what our parents are doing now, we have that to fall back on, and whatever Will and Jada Smith are doing now, it doesn't seem as though their kids have that to fall back on, right? So that's where, for me, it's heartbreaking, right? Because I know it's heartbreaking to be in a situation where your parents are, where it seems like their relationship is broken. But at least I can fall back on the times in which I know that my parents were leading me. But I don't know where I was going with that, but not to get too sad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think we touched on a lot of things.
We kind of did.
Touched on a lot of things. I don't know if we'd really picked something and grasped it and got all the way around it, but
I mean, I think, let's see, wrapping this up, let's...
My parents had a good marriage.
That's good, man.
Mine did for a few years.
Wow, I hope we didn't make them mad with this. Gotta let us know.
Cut that.
Yeah. No, I know.
Let us know on
I know
Dis-
they did.
no.
I know.
Let
Maybe
us
not
know
on the
Discord what you think of my parents' marriage.
Yikes.
Yikes! Don't do that, please.
Not okay. I want to emphasize this because what we have sold this podcast as being is it's not the three of us sitting here giving advice to people, which sometimes we do. Based on what we think is right.
I think when we're qualified.
Yeah. Sometimes we go, oh, hey, we know this to be true. Let's package this in a way of giving advice. But we're not always qualified to just sit here and give advice, I would say. But what we did package this podcast to be was like the three of us sitting and talking about things, the things that are going in our lives, things that are going on publicly, and then discussing them and how they apply to us and how we interact with them. And then hopefully it is so that the three of us have a fruitful discussion and grow because of it. And we're sharing these conversations so that other people hear them and then hopefully have similar discussions, right? Because our goal with this, our dream is that we just have other people having discussions, that are full of critical thinking, that it changes the way they look at things. It changes the way they talk about things.
And if
go ahead.
If you feel that we're not correct on something, or if we're taking something,
Please
or if we're way off base, please do reach out to us, and because we're open for discussion on parts of these things that
but what I was saying is no, you're good, but towards it is an important point. Towards the end of some of these things, one of us will be like, hey, let's wrap this up, and what do we want to tell the listener? I kind of want to change that a little bit. I want us to think about how obviously people are listening to this. I don't want us to forget that. But the things we've talked about, how can the three of us walk away having thought about this and learn from it too? Sorry if that's weird.
I think that's important.
But I want to make sure that we keep this, on the rails, right? I want these conversations because we do this. We have these conversations. And I don't want our conversations to change just because we're recording. I want our conversations still to be, not to be selfish, but I want us to think about how the three of us can be thinking about this, and consequently that, everybody listening can as well.
I don't think it's crazy to say that the conversations we have, when we're being intentional, are just as important for us as they are to listen.
They are, of course.
We're not therapists.
That may have been a stupid rant to go on. I apologize.
No, it wasn't.
Just
I think you were just putting it in words.
It was just me prefacing what I was about to say, which was, how can we package this in a way that people can walk away having learned something? And I just wanted to say before I said that, it's not just about the people listening. But it's important that it's for us to walk away having learned something as well. But yeah, so how can we package what we've talked about here a little bit? Kind of touch on those things again. And Jude, what can we learn from the things that we've talked about? We can each interject here, but I usually go to you because you're a font of wisdom.
Font of infinite wisdom. Well, we've talked a lot about the issues that have arisen from marriage. Not the issues from marriage, but
Probably from marriages built off of nothing.
which is what I'm getting at. Before marriage comes, I think there's like a nursery rhyme, but I can't remember what it is, so I'm not going to bother with it. Before marriage comes, this relationship, the courting, the dating, whatever you want to call it. I know some people hate dating and they use courting, but some people use courting just to say dating, and so
Some of these weddings end in courting in a different way.
Great call.
You mean some of these marriages, not some of these. If a wedding is ending,
Yeah,
that way,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
rough
Very-
wedding. Very
It's
quick.
marriage is not wedding.
No, the relationships that predate marriage, the dating, the courting, man, we got to start taking that more seriously.
Agreed.
I'm not just saying the three of us, because again, fonts of infinite wisdom, but no, everybody our age. Like, you got it. You can't be in a relationship for fun.
No.
You can't be in a relationship because you want a relationship and nothing else. You got to take relationships seriously, because what you're doing before you're married is building the foundation for a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you date and then get married and now you're working on your marriage. I think while you're dating, while you're courting, you're quite literally building the foundation for a successful marriage. So, getting too close too quickly and just being frivolous and just be, allowing yourself to get caught up in the whims of youth.
Yeah.
It's very foolish. It's very easy, and it's very attractive. It's very tempting, right? But man, just got to take dating seriously, take courting seriously, because what you're doing is building for a marriage, not getting to the point where you're married. You're building so that marriage can sit on something and stay steady. That's my
you don't find a good marriage or fall into one, you build.
You
one.
build it before you're there. That's my chunk of wisdom.
No, I think it's true, especially people our age, right?
Yeah.
It's this idea of convenience and fun, and it's the thing you do. It's the thing you do when you're a teenager and then out of high school. It's I can't be alone.
No.
Heaven forbid I can't be alone. So I have to find somebody, and then we'll just love each other.
And we'll make it work.
We'll
love each other and
we'll
make it
just
work.
we'll just be there for each other. But
Support each other in anything. That's a big no.
be purposeful with your relationships and take the appropriate amount of time and make sure that they're really, really built on a relationship with God. What?
I was just kind of small add-on to that chunk. I was joking about it earlier, being called a font of infinite wisdom, but especially what I see our age is the idea that, man, we know everything, and this relationship, we're going to make it work, and it's going to be Christ-like, but the relationship is only between me and you. People don't get Christ involved. People think that they can figure out the relationship between themselves, like they have this problem, and so they'll just talk to each other about it, and they'll figure it out
So
between
it's like
themselves.
an echo chamber of the problem.
Exactly.
itself.
Yeah. No.
You
Talk to people
you
in your
don't-
church. If you're serious about your relationship, talk to people who are happily married.
I mean, if you're serious about building a relationship
Marriage
with God, you're going to
counseling.
have people in those churches.
You
that
don't
you can
want
talk
to
right?
flaunt every good and bad day of your marriage and every single argument and petty thing, or all of the really big and deep things that you need to be having serious discussions between you and your significant other. You shouldn't just post that to all of your social media and let the whole world know about it. But you also shouldn't just keep it as an echo chamber, because you would see both of those relationships, like at least parts of the two big relationships that we've been talking about today. You need to go to first to God and to each other, and then to somebody that has experience, like leaders in the church that have both spiritual experience, marital experience,
Hopefully, yeah.
and in giving advice, like knowing how to give the advice that's needed to be given, with how to proceed with like whatever issue is going on. And because problems are going to happen, right? Resident married man. Yeah. Problems
He said no.
do
He said
in
his marriage
fact
is
happen.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, he said no, marriage is perfect.
No, marriage is perfect. Never any problem. No,
Yeah.
problems do arise, and you have to go about the right way of doing it. And a very important part of that is having steady and solid foundation to fall back on when those
And that
problems
foundation
arise.
doesn't just start when you meet the person either. The foundation also starts with you and your heart and where you're at before you're even in a relationship, before you're even dating anybody. Sorry.
No, that's a good point.
No, what I wanted to, something that I've been having rattle around in my brain lately is about the idea of husbands and fathers, right? It's something that's very important to me someday to be. And I was talking to somebody about like how children are raised. And it's not just about how like once you're married and once you have children, oh, you should start figuring out how to have them, how to raise them. It's also about like when people our age, especially in young adulthood, that is the time in which you are supposed to be training your mind and seeking knowledge and understanding on how to do these things appropriately. Because it's not like once you're in that situation, it's almost too little too late to be like, oh, hey, you know what? Maybe I should figure out how to do this appropriately. But something that's been on my heart like a lot lately, I want to take that more seriously. I don't want to fall into a relationship and then go, it's time for me to start taking this seriously and start learning how to be in a good relationship.
Once you're
right
in
now, whatever that relationship I'm going to be in, whatever that marriage is going to look like, the foundation I'm building for it is now. Mm-hmm. I'm building that. I'm building my part of that right now. I'm really seeking God's wisdom in my life. I'm seeking to be prepared with that kind of understanding and to be prepared for those situations, whether it's raising children or whether it's understanding how to, work with someone else towards something. But that kind of stuff starts now. It doesn't just start when you're like, oh, hey, I'm dating someone. I should probably start figuring out how to be in a relationship. So
be a godly man.
Especially
I can't speak to the women, but as a guy,
as young men,
we got to start shaping up now.
We need to own up and be responsible for being men and for learning how to be men and how to be husbands and fathers before we already are. Yeah. And I think if a lot more people had done that or were doing that, were learning how to be good husbands and fathers before they already were husbands and fathers, a whole lot of relationships would be very different. Talking about those more public ones, right? If those men had decided to, and I'm not saying the onus is only on the men, but we're guys, and so I can speak to what they should have done more. But it's on both of them, and they should have been really seeking understanding on how to be those things appropriately before they already found themselves falling into them. What's up, Levi?
Oh, a good quote. Husbands, love your wives well. Your children are noticing how you treat her. You are teaching your sons how they should treat women. And you are teaching your daughters what they should expect from men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that often.
Dave Willis.
Yeah. You don't wait till you're in a relationship to become that man. You need to, in every aspect that you can, you need to be that man before.
Yeah. And then hopefully the right person will recognize that. And that is what it will be built off of. They saw that in you, and you will see that in them. And then you will continue to do that together.
And women listening to this podcast, you're not off the hook either. You got to be good role models to your children as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I actually think that, we may have been all over the place there for a little bit, and we talked about a few different things. But this is what I love about these discussions. We do kind of dance around a bunch of different things, but when it's all said and done, I know I've learned something, and so I feel confident knowing the people listening have as well. And the things that they may have gotten from it may have been from the first half, but I know the stuff in the later half for me was much more influential. So, thank you again to both of you for sitting and talking with me. And is there anything else before we go that we want to leave people with, or are we good?
I'd like people to write in the Discord.
Yeah,
like my joke or
please.
not.
Write them. Write
If
what?
you liked my joke or not.
Yeah. Let you know
Let
how
me know
bad
if you want
his
to hear
joke
another
was.
joke on the next episode.
And we'll definitely do that, buddy.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We love you very much.
Levi?
Roll the outro.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.
That's a good one.